what do you want to do next? Should we do the pie finally?
Pie crust.
Yes.
Yes, that
So,
would be great.
what is the big deal about pies? What?
The
crust.
rolling it.
I make it.
Yeah, rolling is the easiest part, really and truly, once you get it. And the thing is, you have to respect it. You have to have a special kind of respect for your dough. If you look, the dough always has the same amount of, almost the same amount of flour as it has grease, you would call it, fat. Call it fat. I love a food processor. I think a food processor is the best invention that has been of this century for the food, a food processor. A food processor, this machine, is the best invention of this century. You can make anything in that machine. You can make pizza dough, you can make pie dough, you can make, you can chop, you can, but especially for dough, because you don't touch it. And dough does not like to be touched. It does not like heat, and it does not like to be touched.
Is that
So,
a new version of that particular?
this is, mine I dropped
Oh, okay.
coming here. My husband was furious.
Oh,
Rosalie was part of the show. I decided I could come down the stairs with everything in my hands, and it just dropped, and he said,
no.
"You see like that? Yeah, I don't need that right now. I'm going to."
Did it break?
Oh, yeah.
You know what, you can,
I can buy this part again.
Yes, yeah. Oh,
But in my container, I have my Cuisinart, the one I've had for 40 years, so it's
Okay.
coming.
Yeah.
And that one is a metal one, and it's my friend.
We had one as a, excuse me, it's not important. I was just gonna say, I had one years ago, but I don't even know where the heck it went.
You don't use it very often.
You should resuscitate it for wherever it is, because it deserves to be part of your life.
Yeah.
It definitely does. So this, in here, we're gonna put the dry ingredients. So, we need sugar. We're gonna do the pie dough. That is my pie dough, my version of a pie dough. You could make your own version. You can use whatever kind of fat you prefer. I like butter, because butter has flavor, and that's why I use butter. You can use any other way, and I put a little olive oil, because the olive oil, I don't know, I'm Italian, and I guess that's what American. The butter is up on top of it.
Salted or unsalted?
I use unsalted.
How many sticks?
No, there's a container. Yes, thank you. So I cut it up into squares, and I often have this already prepared in my freezer. If you have, I don't know, I guess I'm such a cook, I'm such crazy, that I'm ready for things like that, and in 2 seconds I can make a pie. If somebody says, "Oh, I'm coming for dinner," a pie will be between this in the freezer and this. You make a pie in 2 seconds. Okay, so you have this. You have olive oil, which I forgot at home. Shoot, I forgot my olive oil. Something had to be forgotten. So anyway, we have this. We have sugar. We have a little bit of salt. Where's our salt? We finally got
It's
salt.
between the jars in the back.
In the front.
Oh, look at you. There you go there. Okay. And then what else do we have? We have
Flour.
Huh?
Egg.
Flour.
egg yolk. I like egg yolk in my dough. Yes. So egg yolk. And the white I use, I will show you. The white I use so that it impermeabilizes. Is that the word? Something like that. Impermeable. It becomes, the white,
It
Yeah.
seals it.
thank you. Thank you. I will use this white to seal. So here, 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 and my flour. Come here. is not my day. I never drop or break things. Today I've done it for the whole year.
Break or whatever it is.
Okay, 2,
Peter?
2.5.
2.5 cups of flour.
Looks like a resuscitator.
who's a resuscitator?
What is that? Oh,
It's not a lot of imagination.
Oh, that's it.
It's the extension cord.
Don't trip.
Okay,
Oh my goodness, all of it, yeah.
yeah.
So you use the butter frozen?
Colder, the better.
Oh.
Pretend we're putting the olive oil in here.
I saw it go right.
I go like this with my olive oil. I just go okay, it's
We
like
saw
a,
it.
yeah.
Sugar? Did you put the sugar?
3
it's
tablespoons of
coming.
sugar.
the egg yolk,
Sugar.
sugar,
Sugar in the morning.
sugar,
You do this at home a lot?
a lot.
Well, look at the amount of flour she's got. I mean, wow, that's,
2.5 cups.
no, I'm looking at your
Oh,
container,
yeah.
so you're,
She goes through that in 2 days.
I make pizza a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, let me do this, because I have to concentrate and then I'll tell. So, you can, if you wish, add smell to this. So if you're gonna make a savory pie, you can add any kind of aroma you love, okay? You can put rosemary, you can, and your dough will be different.
No.
You can do it with this by putting cinnamon in here, and your dough will have that flavor. So it changes, it can, depending on your mood, okay, or what you're gonna prepare. But it's fun to do that, to change the flavor. There you go. Oh, what the heck?
Not good.
Of course, because I dropped it.
So you brought that with you?
Yeah. Usually, I cannot, you pulse. At this point, you pulse. And you're gonna make it turn into like cornmeal almost. See? You more or less can see it, right? Okay. So now, at this point, we put agua. Agua. Cold water. If it's cold, it's better. And listen, I can hear it. I know that I've done the right thing. Because it will come together and it will change the noise. Go glop, 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 glop.
Patricia, do you make any change in the recipe or how you do it if it's the basic butter instead?
No,
It's just,
it's exactly the same thing. Maybe you'll have more trouble when it's frozen. But see how it changes noise? So I know that it's doing what it has to do. When it turns into a ball, and your pie dough is ready.
what blade is that?
It's I'll show you.
No, it's- Uh-huh.
This is,
Oh my gosh.
it's perfect.
Wow, that's great.
See?
Oh my gosh.
You know, it, then you squish it like this. You don't have to, but I do because I put it in the fridge so that the gluten in the flour relaxes. And when you prepare your pie, it doesn't shrink. That's why you need to let it rest. So ideal, which is what I do when I have a dinner or something, I prepare this the day before and have it ready in my refrigerator. And in the morning, I get my apples that are also ready, and I put it together, and you have a pie in no time. You can make a pie in 20 minutes. Like this, yes. and it's cold. You can too. And then my pies are in there somewhere. May I have one? So,
These little things too, other ones, or not?
all the pie doughs. Yes.
And what's in there?
Who knows, what are you? That's the stuffing, yeah, that can come too.
Now, was this recipe for one crust or two?
This is for two.
Okay,
This is a lot,
okay.
okay? When I make them, and I hope you all will, when we have our Christmas fairs and we need pies, I make this amount, and I can make like 4 or 5 of these guys, one after another, I mean, and have my balls like this. And then I get these guys, and they say 110 pies. I bring 10 pies.
Oh,
Because you cook this in one big huge pot,
Oh.
one time. And then you have the dough you make here, and you make various doughs, and then you start having, like this, for example, 1 little piece, 2 little pieces. I made, out of this amount that we just made, I made this pie with a cover. Okay. And
Can you freeze the dough?
absolutely, absolutely. You just have to remember the night before to bring it out and put it in the refrigerator and thaw it a little bit, because if not, it's gonna be a little hard to work with. Yes, you can. And again, this is my recipe. What I want you to follow is just the way it works. That's all I want you to follow. Then you can do any recipe, because that's the whole point of learning how to prepare something. Then whatever pie dough you read in whatever magazine, whatever book, now you're gonna know what to do and what not to do. This guy is really hard, so in my hands I know how much I need to torture it. And very little, not too much. Not too much torturing. And here,
So maybe it's best when you freeze it, to freeze it in a disc shape to begin with. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
yes, but you want it, well, yeah, but yes, probably, depending on how, I don't, because in 2 seconds, watch, it's gonna be 2 seconds and we're ready. So, we need Lisa again.
Oh, Lisa, you're up.
We need Lisa again.
I think
and
someone's
we have-
calling me.
Patricia.
She
Would
hire
you-
hire you?
Yeah, Lisa said, I'll help you. Oh, well.
Hey, Lisa.
Okay, Lisa, look. Okay, you put this here.
I can do this.
Yeah, that's the part for you.
Oh, here.
Okay, so you go over here.
Have you done this before?
No, but
Okay, the first one has been in there 30 minutes.
cool. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't smell.
No,
Why does it smell?
I still have 10 seconds. So I set it again for 10?
Yeah, at least. No, it doesn't seem to. Well, but I'm not gonna touch it. We touch it and then it won't do anything. We don't know that. So I'll put the amount, because I'll do it without measuring.
So why do you have to cook the berries?
Because I am going to melt the cornstarch.
Oh,
I don't really cook them, but I melt them.
now
So
the
the,
berries?
melt the cornstarch. I put sugar. I make my jam like this. I make jam, I buy this stuff, and I just put sugar and wait until it cooks, and we have jam. I never buy jam ever.
You have any blueberry jam you'd like to sell?
I know, my husband so wants to live at your house.
This, I like to cook so much that my grandchildren come walk in the door and say, Pati, we're hungry. And that goes on all the time they're there. And they say, can you make me this? Can you make me that? But I want them to remember me for something, and I guess that's what they remember. They'll say, oh, when my grandmother was alive, I could eat this or that.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we're gonna go into the scary part. Scary part?
Yes, very.
No, because it's cold. It's cold, okay? I'm not gonna let it get hot. I know it's cold. And I start from a circle. And I go, make sure it gets flour. And somewhere I saw that they do that spray and then put the flour, but I don't like that spray because I don't know what's in there.
What's the spread?
That,
Ham.
yeah, and I don't know what's in
Well,
there.
I've never heard of a spray.
Yeah, Pam or whatever. Yeah.
So you don't flour your rolling pin?
Cornstarch. Yes, I do. Sure. I don't need to yet.
Okay.
Is that hot?
No.
So now we put the cornstarch.
Yeah.
And that's ready. I mean, it's taking me more time to explain than to really do the whole thing. And then when you turn, when you roll your dough, you turn. What are you doing when you're turning? You're taking a little bit of flour and you're allowing, and you're making sure it's not sticking. Because if you don't turn, you don't know, you can go stretch and stretch and stretch, and then when you're done, it's all stuck. But if you turn, it turns. Correct? No, doesn't need it. It's so cold that it doesn't need it. Yeah. See, you turn and turn and feel your dough where it's thinner and go turn. But it's hard because it's cold. It's not a soft dough. See? And then,
Would it be easier if you brought it to room temperature?
no, then you wouldn't be able to work it.
Okay.
It will, then it's gonna be rebellious. It's gonna rebel against you. You turn and you're picking up just a little bit of flour and you see it, nothing happens to it, it's cold. Then if you want, you can go like this, and less flour better.
And it's coming out in a circle because you started with that disc.
You know, because I turn and I give it the shape. See? I taught my grandson how to do this,
So if
because
you
he's
have,
my cook.
and every time you turn, you feel,
Every time I turn, I'm feeling underneath that it's not stuck, and I'm giving it just a little bit of flour that I have here. See?
It's almost completely round.
Almost.
Does the rolling pin make any difference? You have a.
No. I like this one. I like this one because it has, I don't know, yeah. It's probably the simplest, and I can go forever, because it's cold, and I wish you could have, I can do whatever I want with it. See? But that's because it's cold.
Can you make us pizza too?
I had a pizza company.
Oh, you did?
that's gonna be the next class. Is the pizza.
Yeah. I had, my husband had a job and he had a company and he did well and he kept thinking, why do you have to work? So, and I've never been able to be, if you know me 5 minutes, I can't stay still. So I would look for jobs that would stay home, that I could stay do from home as much as I could. And my friends started asking me for cooking classes, so I started by doing cooking classes. And then, and it took me a while to accept to do cooking classes because I don't measure. I never have, I never follow a recipe. I read a recipe and I think, oh, okay, and then I do my own version. So to become rigid and go with the rules of a recipe and teach it was hard at the beginning. And then, so I would do cooking classes in my house. My little girl would help me and she learned to charge and she was in charge of saying, you owe me, you haven't paid me, and stuff, which I don't like. I don't like that part, and she did it really well. And you'd be surprised how many people pretend they've paid you the week before, and she would say, no, I don't have your name. And I would, but anyway, so one day, somebody asked my brother with the restaurants if he could, because my brother was like, for a while, the Bob Barker of Peru. For a while.
Calm down.
Yeah, and then he started doing his restaurants, and so somebody asked him, we want to do a TV program, would you do it? And he said, no, I wouldn't, but my sister will. And my sister would be good at that. So they called me, and I ended up on TV without even knowing how the hell I got there.
And she hasn't read chemistry lessons.
No.
Has anybody read chemistry? That's perfect.
I ended up on
Lessons in
TV,
chemistry. Lessons
and
in
because
chemistry.
I'm a little bit not normal, just a little bit, they asked me, can you do live? And I said, oh, sure.
It's just like the person in lessons in
Live is really hard, okay? Live is 3 cameras here, in your face, and they just go on, and you don't know what the hell's going on. And then if something doesn't work, you're live, you have to be able to say, oh, and I have to have 3 recipes per day, pre-prepared like now, and do it in 1 hour and people would call me on the phone. So I would talk to people on the phone.
Oh.
It was a great experience. It lasted not very long because then the TV channels were bought by the government, and so it didn't last very long. But it lasted long enough for me to know that I lived that experience, I had fun, and then I said, what am I gonna do? So one of my students said, why don't you do 1 product and sell it to the supermarkets? And that was like, ooh, oh, how do you do that? You know, to the supermarket, it was scary. But and I said, what do? I do my lasagna, I do my this, and my pizzas. So I started selling my pizzas, frozen pizzas. I made my product. I invented, I packaged it. I don't know, I guess I have this energy that I don't even know I have. And so I started selling to the supermarket who called me to sell my pizzas to, because they found out through friends, said, we'll help you, you can do 1 supermarket at a time. And so I did, 1 supermarket, 2 supermarkets, 3 supermarkets. I used to go in my little Aldi and deliver my pizzas. It was again another experience. And then I sold them to, is that done?
Another
Is this
10
good?
minutes.
No,
Now it's
This is
10 to
gonna
40
be
minutes.
Yeah. You don't want to
No,
talk?
because then we can't use it. Okay, thank you. And so then, my friend helped me. I ended up buying a building I started at home, in my kitchen. Then I used the back of our house. hate to say it, but it was the maid's quarters. I changed them, I put them somewhere else, I made a room for them. And then I sold them out of my house, and then I was selling my pizza so much. And my friend who helped me said, I have a place for you to buy. And I said, but I can't do that. I can only. So I bought this piece of land that was 5 floors. It was one of those God things. I kept saying this would be the perfect place to have my place. And this man who was losing his business needed money there and then, so I bought his 5 stories and ended up having a pizza factory.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of things.
Are you gonna share your pizza recipe with us?
Sure.
Good.
Another time, Sandy.
I
Not
want that.
today.
This is the top. This is the inside. Can you try this? I know it's cold. So this is done. We're almost done, you guys, just in case. We just have to put this guy on top. Did I put? I didn't do it. Telling you my story. Before this, I put the white and I cover it with the white so that this doesn't become soggy. This makes it, and that to me is the trick.
So you just paint it on?
I just throw it in there and roll it around and then take away what I don't need.
The bottom crust.
Yes, cover the bottom. Probably I do.
So you don't pre-cook the bottom crust?
No, I do that. And then, okay, then you go like this, or whatever kind of little design you prefer, whatever makes you happy. Now we're in a hurry, so it's gonna be, Lisa will finish it off. Oh, Lisa. And I'm gonna be stretching my bananas. You finish this off, and we need an egg yolk to cover it with. This goes in here. And this is for here.
I recently saw Ina Garten being interviewed on television, and she said that every time she cooks, she is terrified. She is terrified. Why? She just doesn't really, never get over that, especially on television.
I wonder if she feels it from the inside to the outside,
she
or if
tests
she's
it.
learned it from the inside
I
from
don't
the
know, she
outside
tests
to
it,
the.
every recipe
She
she
does.
starts
I
on
never do.
4 times. For a whole
I've-
week,
I've
Jeffrey eats the
done,
same
I've done
thing.
live.
Jeffrey eats the same thing every week?
For a whole
I-
week.
I had to have 3 recipes per day, and I couldn't test. I just
Well,
did them,
I'm still trying.
and I've.
I
It's
thought that was amazing.
okay. So here,
For 45 years and I was always anxious.
yeah.